Yes, I hope you can see my screen. I'm currently on USDJPY. If you can see at the very far left side, at the very top, USDJPY weekly chart. So we'll start off from where we left it last week. We'll look at this first. There is this one here. Today is 21st of January 2019, and then there's the next most important thing, which is this. There's a bonus which I keep mentioning every now and then, that for every 500 deposit, this can be euros or USD, whichever, as long as it's 500 euros or 500 USD, you'll get at least 1,500 from it. That is around 200% of amounts that are above 500. So to get that bonus, you need to go to the main page. The main website is here. Go to the main website. And then there's the first option, bonus. Then this one. Ensure you read all the terms and conditions, everything on this page, and most important, the most important thing is this: ensure you read and understand this very well, whatever's on this page. So you'll have to click there, read everything from the first clause here to the last one, which is 12. So we start off with today's analysis to see exactly what we have for the day. We start with EURUSD here, and since this is Monday, we start from the weekly. We have a line here. This is the most important thing I'm seeing on this chart. There's a resistance, a resistance, a resistance, a break above, a support, then there's a break below, and then we are now seeing traveling below the same place. So you can remember previously there was a time we were looking at consolidation, and we said that if you find a level like the zone we have now, assuming you find this zone, then price begins to consolidate above it, but after sometimes it breaks below it. If you see a similar thing, then that's the correct place to sell from. So we sold it actually based on what happened last week, a fortnight ago. We sold it based on this one. We sold it based on this pin bar, and we still expect price to proceed even further to lesser. So there's a level here which is also a good one. We have a support here, a support which was broken, and now price is below. So this is a possible sign that we are still selling. As long as the price remains below 1.1395, we are still looking for a sell. So just a second, something like this. As long as the price remains below 1.1392, we are looking for a sell. So we expect that the price should proceed downwards towards this level here, towards the lowest level, somewhere there. If you're on this side at the moment, then the best you should do is to wait for a retracement back to the upper side, and then you'll take a sell towards 1.0493. We'll add an indicator, moving average 200. According to this moving average, you are above. The price is above where the moving average. So this is still a buy according to this indicator. We'll add another one, MACD. The bars of MACD are below 0.0. So this is a sell. According to MACD, we're supposed to look for a sell, and according to this level here, we're supposed to look for a sell. So two things are supporting the sell. We have a line where we are below, and we also have the columns of MACD being below 0.00. All these are pointing to a sell. So you're supposed to sell, especially a retracement back to that level like this. So you're on this chart at the moment, just wait for a slight retracement, and then you pick a sell from somewhere around this point with your take rate at 1.0493. There's also something that I found interesting here. Just a second, like that, and then you also have a line like that. So this is like a possible wedge, contracting wedge. A support, price went up, a support, it went up, a support, up, a support. So this should be a sell place, another sell place, and should price come back to the same place, we'll also look for that sell to the lower side towards 1.0493. So we move to the next chart, which is GBPSD. Here we have our lines exactly as we drew them last week, so nothing has changed much. We're still looking for a sell. We are still looking for a move up towards 1.3070. So last week this was an indecision candle, the weekly candle, the one we saw. This it opened somewhere here, went as low as this point here, but end up closing somewhere here. So this could be a sign that we are headed up towards 1.3070, but we'll add an indicator to confirm that. If the columns of MACD are above 00, then we are possibly headed up towards 1.3070. They are below, so this is still a sell. According to MACD, we're supposed to look for a sell. Then I'll add another indicator, which is here, average directional movement index there. So we delete that one. According to this one, and this is a buy, we're supposed it's a sell, sorry. We have this one, the red dotted one is called D minus, and then the green dotted one is called D plus. So as long as the D minus is above D plus, we are stuck on a downtrend. So from this chart here, although the price is likely to move upwards, the overall direction is down, and therefore you're supposed to look for a sell towards 1.2693, and should price go below that level, expect it to go up to 1.2129. So according to this indicator ADX, we are supposed to look for a sell, and that sell should go up to 1.2693, and the next take profit at 1.2129. We move to the next pair, USDJPY. The same thing, we have our charts exactly as we had them last week. There's a line at 114.32, and the next line was at 108.55. So we mentioned that as long as the price does not close below 108.55, we are supposed to look for a buy. So we mentioned here, while price was below here, we suggested a buy, and that buy you're supposed to have your take profit at 110.51. So far it has been going up, and you expect it to proceed even higher towards 110.51. A move like this, let it proceed up before it bounces to the lower side, something like that. So either way, you're supposed to look for a buy, especially if price bounces from this place. To take a buy, have a take profit at 110.51, and should price break above this level, expect it to proceed higher towards 114.32. So on this chart you can see there's an indicator which I added here. This is called envelope indicator. As long as the price is above it, you expect a move upwards, and if price breaks below it, then you expect a move to the lower side. So far where the price is now, we are below it, and therefore this is still a sell, which means we're supposed to sell from this point. Look for a sell from somewhere around that point there. Wait for a bounce from this level, you sell it from that point, your first take profit, and then your last one should be here, and the ultimate last one should be at the very low here, 104.64, and then the next one 110.52. So we move to the next chart, the next symbol, which is SP500. And this one also we had a prediction since last week, and we've been following the same thing. We'll just need to add an indicator so that at least we confirm the direction. MACD. So according to MACD, you can see there's a transition, like the columns of MACD have gone above 0.0. That's the first thing. Then another indicator, which is average directional movement. Here we are actively upwards. You can see from this point here, from this point there was a change in direction. D plus was above D minus, and then this one, the trend, the main one, is above 25. So as we mentioned during one of our webinars, that as long as the main one is above 25, then this is a move upwards. We expect it to proceed even higher. So according to this chart here, this is an upward move. Like the very most important thing is that the columns of MACD are above 0.00. That's the first thing. And then the next most important thing is that D plus is above D minus on the ADX. Then we have the main one being above the level 25. So all these are pointing upwards. We also have a level that's supposed to be used for a buy place. What you should do now, wait for price to retrace back to this level, like that. Then you buy it upwards. So I'll minimize this. We already used them at least to get the direction. Something like this. We want price to retrace back to this level. Let it come down to this level here, so that we can pick a buy towards 2934.7. So we check daily, or we start from weekly because it's a weekly chart. On the weekly chart, we have a break above. So according to the weekly chart, this is still a buy. We actually went above the place we were supposed to sell from last week. You can remember we drew a level here, then we said that if price fails to go beyond 28.5, then that's a sell. But so far what's happening, the price actually closed above that level, which means a retracement back to this zone here will mean you are buying it towards 2934.7. So I'm not going to add anything on this, and this is just a buy. Just wait for a retracement and then you take a buy upwards. 4 hours, you have the same place, except that there's a level here which is significant. There's also a level here which is very significant. So this was a resistance there. There's the second resistance here, and then you have the third resistance here. So the reason I'm drawing that line there, the marks, this symbol, the reason I'm having them here is because if we manage to buy precisely from this zone, then price should proceed up. Then we'll take profit from this place here, wait for a clear breakout, and then a retracement back to the same place before we can buy it upwards like this. So either way, if you buy from this place here, then take profits here and wait for a break up, a retracement before you buy it even higher. So we move to the next chart, which is Brent oil here. Also this one we've not changed anything, we still have our lines the same way we had them last week. So these red lines, these are just retracements. There was an active downtrend and then there are small retracements. The first one, a retracement down, a retracement down, a retracement down, then a retracement down, a retracement down, a retracement. Then for the very first time we are seeing a big retracement. Then price went down before it retraced massively even higher. So according to this chart here, this is a buy, especially if price can clearly close beyond 62.51. So what you want to happen is that price should proceed up like that, then you trace back to the same place like this, so that we can buy it from that point upwards towards 86.12. So wait for a move up, a retracement, and then we buy it higher, and we'll add an indicator, this one average direction movements index, like that. So the very first thing, we have D plus being above D minus, and then the main one is yet to close above 25. So what we want to do is we wait for this main one to go above 25, and if price is still above 62.51, then we'll buy it higher, something like this. We want price to break above, retrace back to the same place, and then we pick a buy towards 86.12. So either way, this is still a buy, except that you need to wait for the main moving average of this ADX to go beyond 25, so that you can buy it upwards at 6.12. So we move to the next chart. Sorry, we've not looked at this chart from the weekly point of view, so we'll check that first. On the weekly chart, we have a support here, a support, then there's a break below, a resistance, and therefore this could still be a sell on the weekly. So according to the weekly chart, we are actually looking at a possible case where this Brent oil could actually head downwards. Something like this is likely. The price may reverse from this point to the lower side. A support, broken, a retracement, back down, second retracement. So this should be a very good place to look for a sell. According to the weekly chart, this is a sell. So as much as there's a buy on the daily, you should have in mind that weekly is a possible sell, and therefore if you see a good sell also on the daily, you're supposed to look for that sell to the lower side, something like this. You may sell it there. If you find a good sell signal here, you may look for a sell but have your take profit at 45.83. so the other reason I'm selling is because we have this indicator being above where price is. This envelope, it is above where the current candle is, where the previous week closed. So as long as this is true, that the envelope is above where the previous candle closed, then that is a sell signal. You're supposed to sell it, but you have a take profit here, 145.83. Look for a sell, then you take profit. So we move to the next chart, which is gold. And you can remember gold, we actually recommended a buy last week. We said you're supposed to look for a buy, especially while the price is above this indicator. So you can see on Friday, the Friday's candle actually closed below this indicator. So this is a good sell. You're supposed to wait for a retracement towards this place here. We have a support which has been broken. Price should come back to the same place, should move back to the same place, so that we can sell it like that. So you are on this chart at the moment, you're supposed to look for a sell. If you are on the daily chart, then this is a sell, but with that sell, have a take profit here, and then the next one should be here. A support, resistance, broken, support, support in the buy place, resistance, broken, we are yet to come back to the same place. So if you take a sell from this point, then just hold it up to 1250 or 1234. These are the two places to take profits from, this one or this one. So as I was looking at this in the morning, I realized that monthly chart there's something else. It's not a sell the same you're looking at it from the daily. According to the monthly, there's this. Just a second, I have that chart here. Monthly. On the monthly chart, you have a level here. So as much as you're looking for a sell on the daily, you should also have in mind that we are yet to reach the sell place from the monthly. On the monthly, you expect price to come back to this place here so that you can sell it from that monthly level. So if you want to trade this correctly and you want to trade the long time, then wait for price to come back to around this zone here. Then you pick a sell from that point. You have a take profit here. So as you can see, the same level has been used severally. There's a support here. Then we have a resistance there. And then you also have a good resistance there. And then you also have a very good resistance there. And then you also have a very good resistance here. So the best you should do is to wait for price to come back to this place so that you can pick a sell from this point with your take profit at 111.41.96. A good sell to the lower side. You're supposed to sell from here. Sell from that point, then you have a take profit somewhere around this point. We add an indicator, MACD. According to MACD, we are still selling, although we are edging to break above. So if maybe next month you find that the current column has closed above 0.00, then this is supposed to mean that we are upwards towards 1350.93. So we've looked at all the symbols. We have gold, which we've looked at. We've looked at USDJPY. We also looked at GBPUSD, Euro USD, Brent, and then we also looked at SP500. So that should bring us to the end of today's overview. And I want to repeat also this one. I said at the beginning, I mentioned at the beginning that this bonus here, which you need to get it. So whether you have a euro account or you have a USD account, as long as your deposit is above 500 or 500 from up and above, then you can make up to 1,500 from that bonus. So that is called New Year deposit bonus. And to get that, you go to just to the main site, just log in from wherever you're, just log into the main site, and then there's this option here. Then the very first one, I have it clicked already. Then ensure you read everything on this page, and most importantly, read these terms and conditions first of all. So thank you very much. See you again tomorrow at the same time.